Blog Talk Radio.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, across this great country. Coronavirus might have a sleep on it. Nobody has a sleep on this Cleveland show. The American Sports History Podcast, hosted by my good friend Peter Ray, 347-205-9631. Mark Mancini here producing this thing. Without further ado, let me give him the podium, the mic, and the red carpet. Peter, first of all, how are you after a long weekend? Second of all, how can people get a hold of you? Third of all, you got one heck of a guest on.
Oh, hi, Mark. I'm fine. I have a YouTube channel. It's my name, Peter J. Ray, and I make history videos, including a lot on Cleveland baseball, actually every year from 1869 to the present. And so tonight we have a wonderful guest, Kimberly Bruno Houston, and her husband played Major League Baseball from 1996 to 2003. But tonight we're going to talk about her work. She had more than 20 years in the karate field, but now she's working in the health field. So thanks so much for coming on the show, Kim. We really happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah. Now the thing is we're a little off topic tonight, which is perfectly fine. It's not sports history, but certainly for the sports fan or the athlete, health is of vital importance if you're going to play a sport or if you're going to follow a sport. We need good health, and I'd be happy to hear about what you're doing here with this Arbonne International. I watched the video a while ago. So what can you tell us about the work in the health field that you're doing right now?
Well, I'm happy you watched the video. I'm sorry it didn't come through the first time, but yep, short and informative. It's just that little video changed my life about 3 years ago. I had just met my husband, although we've again known each other since high school. And I had literally just recently completed my first 30-day clean eating challenge. I was in a bad place in my life. I was a single mom. Not that was bad. That was a blessing. I love, it was a good life, but I just wasn't the healthiest person. I kind of ate when I was, stressed or depressed, and it brought me into a bad place health-wise. And my best friend and my cousin's wife, and my hairdresser, she was doing a clean eating challenge, and she said, let me do it. Let me tell you about it when I'm done and see if it's something you're interested in. And in her second week, she called me that day. We actually talked every day, and she said, listen, don't wait until I finish this. You need to do this. This is amazing. It's exactly what we've been looking for. And so I did it, and it changed my life so much so I sold my karate school. After 24 years, I sold my karate school because I was just absolutely obsessed and committed to sharing the gift with everybody and helping people, feel better. And my now husband, at the time we were dating, and I said, hey, if we're going to make it and we're going to be successful in this venture in life together, you got to hop on the train. And he was already kind of on the train doing his own, thing and health-wise. And he did the detox with me, and it was awesome. And it's just been great ever since.
Yeah. So you want to tell us a little more about the details of it?
Well, I'm a die-hard Italian woman. I grew up in a very, what's the quintessential Italian family. We woke up eating pasta, went to bed eating pasta. And that's just what I knew in my life. And fortunately, I, come from a good line of genes with women where they were all pretty petite women, and we could eat what we wanted and be okay. But it came a time when I was about 30 where that wasn't the case. I wasn't able to eat what I wanted and keep it off and look like I was healthy, and I just started to feel worse and worse. But at the time it was presented to me, I had just went to the doctors, and I had some blood work done and my, exam for the year, and my doctor said, oh, your cholesterol is over 300. This is very dangerous. You need to get on some Lipitor immediately. And I said, no, I'm not the kind of person that is going to take pills or anything like that. I know that it has to do with my nutrition, and that's just something I need to fix. And I had an 11-year-old at the time, and I didn't want her to see what it was like to live life unhealthy. I wanted her to know better, and I knew I had to do better for her. And she was my motivation to get through the 30 days. And actually, it was easy. I started the first week. You have 2 protein shakes a day. Protein is amazing for you, as we all know. It eats the fat, and it creates muscle, and it makes you feel good. And I found a good, clean product, which at the time I was very much into. I was using essential oils for, respiratory infections with my daughter and, things like that. I just believed in a more holistic route for the things that, people deal with normally. I didn't believe in, like I said, over-the-counter drugs or going to a doctor when we had the sniffles. We had an essential oil for it. We used it and we got better. So an Arbonne fell in my lap, and I knew it was a botanically based product. It was cruelty-free, which was also very important to me. I don't believe in animal suffering for me. And I know it doesn't need to be. That's not how God, wanted it. And so it just fit into everything I believed in, my morals. And I drank the 2 shakes every day, and I ate good, clean, organic vegetables and fruits and meats. All the same foods I was always eating. I just transitioned to a more healthy, humane way of lifestyle. And it just changed my life. And my daughter now, she's 14, and she wakes up in the morning. She has a protein shake. She doesn't eat, sugar snacks and drink sodas or any of that. She drinks her fizz, which are loaded with vitamins and good, healthy nutrition. And it just makes me happy as a mom to know that I did it, and that first week, I'm not going to lie, it was tough, not to eat chocolate and spaghetti and, all those things. But, oh, boy, was it worth it.
And you were happy in your karate work and your karate business, and then you switched to this because you really thought this was something really, really good.
Yeah, exactly. I was a karate instructor, and I had hundreds, literally, of kids in our 3 schools at one time. We had a couple hundred students in each school, and they looked at me and my ex-husband. They respected me. They admired me, and I preached a healthy lifestyle, and I taught them, to be healthy and to keep their rooms clean and to have respect and to get good grades in school and all those things. But then I would go home and not really live that same lifestyle that I was preaching. I was, so to speak, I was a hypocrite, I wasn't doing anything bad. I just wasn't doing what I was preaching to my kids, my students. And that made me feel really bad about myself. So once I transitioned the healthy lifestyle, I incorporated it into my schools. I wouldn't let them bring goldfish and potato chips and soda pops into my schools anymore. It was water only. Or nothing. And they all respected that, and they all followed suit. And before I knew it, I had parents jumping on board with me and doing the clean eating challenge, and then they'd jump on my team, and they were telling people about it, and it just was a trickle effect. And it was so amazing that at some point I thought, this is what I need to be doing now. I was kind of burnt out on karate. It was beautifully rewarding and amazing for so many years, but I had met my husband and we had a new life together, and it just fit in so perfectly with him being an athlete and him living a healthy lifestyle, and it just fit in. I sold my school last August. Actually, it was a very sad, hard time for me to say goodbye, but I knew I just needed to move on and start sharing this gift with others.
And so since August, you've been working for Arbonne International full-time?
Actually, since February 22nd, 2018, I have been with Arbonne professionally. Okay.
But you were part-time, and then you've been full-time since August of last year? Or?
I've actually, since I did the clean eating challenge, and I had my students' parents and people asking me, what are you doing? What's going on? And before I knew it, people wanted to do what I was doing because, again, they trusted me. They believed me. Whatever I said, my students and my parents, they really respected that. And I knew because of that, I had a whole new lifestyle to live to show them otherwise. And, I always did Arbonne every day, all day with my karate schools. It was never any different than now.
Right. Okay. Well, we have a caller waiting patiently, Lou from New Jersey. Lou, do you have a question for Kim Bruno Houston?
Yes, I do. Now, you said you had a karate school. Did you ever actually study the sport yourself and had training?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course. I've I started when I was 24 years old, and just trained in martial arts, just starting off as a white belt, and then I got my black belt. And then before I knew it, I was teaching classes, and I was getting certified in leadership training, and just continued my certifications, and becoming as good at martial arts as I could be. I actually trained in Krav Maga. I did a very intensive certification in Krav Maga, and I taught that as well. So, yeah, I did have some professional training, lots of it, actually.
Are you a black belt?
I am. I'm a second-degree black belt.
That was my next question.
Okay.
That was my next question. Did you get like a black belt? Because I know the black belt is like the top of the karate world. So I want to be sure if you're a brown belt, a white belt, a black belt. My brother tried to do karate for a while years ago. Of course, he's too old now, but that's another story.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course.
I'll tell you what. It's anybody that has a child from age 3 all the way to age, the age where they live at home. Everybody should have their child in karate at some point in their life. It's one of the most beneficial forms of
yes, but at the same time, rather violent, though. True.
Pardon me?
But at the same time, it's also to be concerned because it could also be considered rather violent. How do you approach that?
Well, I'll tell you how I approach that. It's very easy. When people would come into my school, the first thing I would tell them is, we don't condone fighting, we don't encourage fighting, and we never, ever encourage our kids to use violence as a means of, protection. But if there is ever a time where you are in a situation where your life is at danger, then you absolutely need to use what I teach you. And my students knew if they came to class and their parents told me they got in a fight, or if something happened and it wasn't out of self-defense, well, there were repercussions in my school because I did not condone fighting. It was for self-defense only.
That I have to agree with, because that should only be used as a last resort. I mean,
100%.
I'm all for protecting oneself, but if you're just going to look for a fight, that's wrong.
Well, anybody that has that perception of martial arts is misled. That's not what martial arts is today. Today, martial arts is just a form of self-discipline and to just be better, people individually. And again, this is a scary world. We need to protect ourselves. And I taught my daughter a long time ago, you never ever use violence to protect yourself, but if anybody ever puts their hands on you or confronts you to where you feel like you're in danger, you absolutely, my daughter's a second-degree black belt as well. She's 14 years old.
Ah, nice.
Do you have any more questions, Lou, for Kim Houston? Kim Bruno Houston?
But I do commend you for your work and efforts, and that takes a lot of guts.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Lou.
And if I had the coordination, I'd do it too.
Well, you could. I had a lot of students that were much older than me, actually. My oldest black belt, who got his black belt with me, his name was Stuart. He was 72 years old when he got his black belt with me. So you're never too old or too out of shape or too anything to hop in.
Well, physically speaking, I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to stand that well. But I do admire your effort,
nowadays, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I do admire your effort.
Not nowadays, Lou, people are very accommodating. So many people deal with different, limitations and medical condition, whatever it is. Now we can pretty much adapt to any situation in our class. Well, I could in my classes, and most people do as well.
Hey, you're located in Houston, I guess, right?
No, actually I was, and I'm actually back in Henderson, Nevada now. So I'm out of
Long
Houston,
way from here.
Sadly.
Long way from here, though.
Yeah, yes.
That's the downside. Ever think of going national?
Me?
Well, being a franchise, because you're in Nevada. What about the karate schools with expanding all the way out here to the East Coast? We could use it too.
Well, Oh, in the East Coast. Well, I'll tell you what. I bet. Where are you at, Lou?
New Jersey, the middle of nowhere.
New Jersey. Okay, well, the franchise that I had my karate schools through, they're all over the world. They're all over the country, all over the world, not just in the country in the United States, but back east especially. There are a whole lot of ATA martial arts is what the name of my franchise was, ATA Martial Arts, Karate for Kids, but it's actually for adults as well. All over. You've probably seen some in New Jersey, I bet.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's very, very, very popular. People know of it.
Thanks for the call, Lou. We really appreciate it. All the best. Okay, take care.
Thanks, Lou.
Okay. We have another caller, area code 714. You're on.
How you doing, Peter?
Oh, fine. How are you? And your name is?
David Rice. I actually have a podcast on the same network with you, Blog Talk Radio Network, and I'm out of Los Angeles. And I was actually talking to Kimberly just a few minutes ago, but I was just very interested in knowing. I think the listeners would be interested in knowing about. You were talking about as far as martial arts goes, Kimberly. You're never too old, but like your healthy lifestyle change that you're now like working with. It's not too old for anybody either. Would you say that's correct?
Oh, absolutely not. I was 47 years old when I did my first clean eating challenge. And no, had I not done that, honestly, I don't know what I would be feeling like or what I would like just be right now. I actually shudder to think, to be honest with you. So no, you're never too old. My mom and dad are in their 70s. My mom did a clean eating challenge the minute I told her to. I said, Mom, you've got to do this. And Dad, too. My dad wasn't on board. He was absolutely not going to drink protein shakes every day. My mom did it, and she gave up a pot of coffee every morning to do it. She'd done that my whole life and stopped drinking coffee because coffee is very acidic. As much as we love it, it's not good for our gut and for all of the things we deal with every day. But she gave up coffee, and she doesn't miss it at all. And my dad thought, well, my gosh, if my wife can give up coffee, then let me hop on board. And he never did a clean eating challenge. He's 73. He's pretty old school Italian, but he's converted to brown rice pasta. He drinks tea now instead of coffee in the morning, and he's done some major transitions. So, no, you're never too old to feel better and do better.
And one thing that struck me, Kimberly, was what you talk about, in order to lose weight and get in better shape, the thing you have to focus on is your gut, which, most of us, including myself, are, that's where a lot of my weight is in my gut, my stomach. And why is that so important? What's the key with the gut being the thing that you focus on?
Well, I hope that most people our age now know, and I don't know how old you are. I'm just assuming we're around the same, the same bracket. We all know now that 80% of whatever it is we're dealing with our health, it stems in our gut, which basically is what we eat, what we consume. I didn't know that. I'll be honest with you. I went through my life, and I knew you needed to eat healthy to feel better and all that stuff. But I never really knew that when I wasn't sleeping at night or when I had really bad moods or when I was, I had heartburn, just dizzy spells, just things like that. I thought, gosh, what's wrong? And I never really put two and two together, and I just guess I never listened, to people that were educated in that. I didn't want to hear it. And it wasn't until I was just really feeling gross about myself and how my students looked at me as this role model and somebody that they could look up to and believe in. And I really wasn't a true role model as far as my healthy eating habits went, or lack thereof. So I don't know. All I can say is when you know better, you have to do better. And if you don't, like I said to you earlier, I hear people all the time, oh, I can't sleep. I didn't sleep last night. Oh, I'm so tired of being overweight. Oh, my gosh, my cholesterol is high. Oh, I have the worst moods. I'm having hot flashes. I have heartburn every day. Really? Well, what did you eat? What were you eating? What are you fueling your body with, And if you're not fueling your body right, 80% of what's wrong with you, 80%, that's a fact, that's a medical fact, 80%, if not more, of what we deal with every day is in our gut and what we've consumed.
Well, thank you so much for answering those questions, and thank you, Peter, for having me on the show. You know, if you get a chance, listen to my show on Saturday. We're going to have Kim and also her husband, Tyler Houston, on as well, talking about baseball, talking about fitness, a lot of different topics, and I'm really looking forward to having both of them on. They both have very motivational programs that they're working with now, and I really am looking forward to that. But thank you, Peter. You do a great show. Thanks a lot.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, David. It's wonderful being a part of Mark Mancini's sports podcast network, Prime Time with the Stables. As I like to say, ESPN and Stephen A. Smith move aside, make room for a new sheriff in town, Mark Mancini in Prime Time with the Stables.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday morning at 9:30 to 10:30 Pacific Time, and 12:30 to 1:30 Eastern Time is when our show is, West Coast Bias, and myself and my co-host Grant Avis talk about all different sports, you know, mostly focusing on the West Coast, but we focus on a lot of different things. So thank you very much. Take care of yourselves, and keep on doing the great work, Peter, and definitely you, Kimberly, as well. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks, David. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, David. Take care. Okay, Kim. So now I have a question for you with this company. They provide these products, and then is it basically like advice on what you eat? What your meal would be? You have a meal a day, and then these other things from the company, and then they tell you what your meal should be?
Yes. So that was another thing I really liked, because for me, I need something laid out for me. I need a guide. I need something to follow, because otherwise I can be a scatterbrain and be all over the place. So, you know, when I looked into it, because, you know, when Kim said, you know, you need to do this, I thought, okay, well, send me the information. She sent me the information. I knew I was going to do it no matter what, because if she said do it, I knew it was something to do. But I still did my research. I checked out the company, because, again, I am 100% committed to only using products internally or externally that are cruelty-free. I don't want to ever use anything that an animal suffered for me. Right. I know that I don't need to do that. God didn't intend for anything to suffer for me to thrive, and that's how I've always lived my life. So once I did my research and I saw exactly what their mission was, their mission is just pure botanically based organic products, God-made, coming from the ground and not synthetically made, no negative side effects or unhealthy additions with sugars and byproducts and dyes and chemicals and all that other crap that nobody wants in their system. I mean, we know we don't want that in us. I mean, everybody knows that. We just tend to get caught up in our normal routine, and we just do what we do. But once I did my research and I saw that they checked all the boxes for me ethically and what I was looking for in my life and what I wanted to continue doing, I knew exactly that that was a godsend for me. It was exactly what I was looking for. Some people want to lose weight, and I coach them to lose weight, and everybody who does it, they lose weight. I mean, it's inevitable. When you're eating good, clean, whole foods, you're going to lose weight, no matter what you're dealing with medically. I've had people get off of insulin after a clean eating challenge, ditch medications for all kinds of things. I have people with lupus, Crohn's disease, IBS, I mean, you name it. And inevitably, when they do this challenge, things get so much better. Some people don't want to lose weight. I have one right now. She's a little toothpick. She's 90 pounds soaking wet, but she's unhealthy because she eats unhealthy, and she wants to get healthy, but she doesn't want to lose weight. So we've just kind of we have changed her clean eating challenge for 30 days to suit her needs, whereas now she's doing 2 clean meals and 1 shake, where typically those who want to lose weight do 2 shakes and 1 meal. So it's for anybody and anything. There's nobody that can't do this clean eating challenge. Nobody.
So if people are interested in pursuing this, what do they need to do?
They need to, first of all, they need to say, I'm going to do this and I can do this. That's the first thing. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to commit for 30 days and give up your old habits. That's the first thing I always tell people to do. Like, I'm 100% on board to coach you, and I know it will work, and I know it will help you. But if you're not 100% committed, it's a waste of your time.
Okay.
So, when you're 100% committed to feeling better and being better, being the best version of you, then, I'm there to coach you every day. We have an amazing online support on Facebook with thousands and thousands of people with every condition you can imagine. People are dealing with something. And they're just all, sharing their wins and how they're, they don't have, whatever they're dealing with. There's so many things now that people have. And when I hear people say, oh, I'm on this medication for this and I'm on this medication for this, it breaks my heart, because doctors don't tell you that, hey, really the answer is to change your eating habits. They just don't say that.
So if people if they decide, okay, I'm really interested in this, and I want to make a commitment, or to get more info, or to watch the video, how do they watch this video that I watched a while ago? What's it called?
The Clean Eating, the 30-day Clean Eating Challenge. Yeah, short, informative, to the point. I also have one that's like 5 minutes that gets more medically detailed. But if anybody's interested in doing it, they can just message me at Kim Houston, Houston, Kim Houston Fit30, FIT30, at yahoo.com. I can give them information. I also have a page, my husband and I, we have a page. It's called Team Houston Fit30 on Facebook, where I post all of your traditional meals and all the things you love. I tweak them, and I make them clean, and I make them healthy and equally as delicious. So I have a lot of followers. I have about 800 followers on there that, steal my recipes, which I love. I'm actually working on a little cookbook right now. I've had people ask me to put it all together in a book, so I started to do that.
So people would need to send you a Facebook friend request, and then you would accept it even if you don't have any mutual friends, because you assume they're interested in this, doing this?
Yes, absolutely. I have people all the time that will message me and say, hey, I got your information from so-and-so. I'm interested in the Clean Eating Challenge. I'm dealing with this, and I just really want to feel better. And boom, I get their email address. I send them the information. I follow up with them, and hopefully they get started. Some do, some don't. The ones that do are happy they did, and I'm happy they did too, because that's just one more person that I know is telling everybody else about it.
And what's the minimum financial commitment to pursue this?
So a fit kit runs, it's $260 plus tax, and that includes it's 2 replacement meals, your energy drinks, your pro and your prebiotics, your fiber, and then we have a 7-day cleanse that we do on the 3rd week, which is awesome. It's delicious. It's a little lemonade drink we drink for 7 days. So it runs about $300. And I always tell people, keep in mind, because for some people that's a big cost.
Right.
But what I did, because at the time, again, I was a single mom, although I had a pretty good living with my karate school, I still was very cautious of my spending. I thought, okay, $300. I went into my bank account, and my gosh, as soon as I deducted the Starbucks and the gas station things and the dinners out and the Mexican food, it was almost double what the fit kit was. And I said, okay, well, that's all I needed to know. It's in the budget.
So it sounds like, you, from what I'm understanding, you got into this and you felt this dramatic improvement in your life, and then you decided to do it full time and get out of the karate business because you wanted other people's lives also to improve dramatically.
Exactly. I can't tell you how many times I saw people come into my school, and I promoted good health, and I always taught my students, don't eat that stuff, because I didn't really eat a bunch of snacky foods like that. Like, kids would come in with just gummy bears and goldfish and all that stuff that I would cringe, because even though I wasn't the healthiest eater, I never let my child eat that stuff, because I did know that was not good for my kids. But I couldn't tell other kids what to eat just because they were my students. So I wanted people to know that there was another way and that there was other things. And before I knew it, I had my students drinking fizz, and, I would bring in little healthy snacks for my kids and my parents to eat. And my parents would be like, oh my gosh, how do you make this? And so I thought, well, I guess I better make a page on Facebook so I can let them get on there and see it. And that's kind of how my Fit page came about. Because really, if you really want to do something and you want to feel better and be better, then you just have to make that change and take the first step. And I wanted to motivate people and show people it was really easier than they thought.
Well, Kim, we're out of time. This is really a wonderful interview tonight, and I'll send you a message. I would like to pursue this myself for my own life, and so God bless you. Wonderful. And you got a show coming up, the Vegas View on June 2nd.
I do. So
you're joining the prime time with the Stables with Mark Mancini. So that's wonderful. And
I am. I'm so excited. It's a great group of people. I feel like I have a whole new family in a really short period of time. Honestly, it's been a real blessing, and I feel very thankful.
Okay, so dear listeners, we have Jeff Juden next week. The following week, Jack Howell, and I'd like to quote to close out the show. I'd like to quote Joe Tate, the former Cleveland Indians and Cleveland Cavaliers radio broadcaster. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks so much, Kim. All the best. God bless you, and keep up the good work, and I will send you a message.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care. Okay.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.